children, I'll take thee away into a land of enchantment. Come, little children, the time's come to play here in my garden of shadows.
Hello everyone, I'm Runya, aka Media Adaptation, and welcome back to Moderation while we use your game. But it's time once again for us to talk about the supposedly lost age-style anime Go for a Punch, aka Saki Sanobashi. Okay, let's talk about lost anime for a bit. There are a lot of them out there, partly due to how poorly everything was documented back then, and a bunch of anime OVAs that are made only for retail use, so normal people wouldn't have the ability to purchase it. One of those I discovered in the past year or so was How to Know Asukagumi 2, a companion piece to a long-standing delinquent series that was long forgotten for 30 years. Another similar story was one called Kamen Sensei Lava Thunder, a teaser animation that was created for a project back when the studio, Pan Media, went under. They found that the teaser was supposedly released alongside another show on TV Tokyo. They had the date and time of when it happened, and got raw footage from VHS recordings at the time, and still cannot find it. Lost media is sadly more common than we think, even in this age. And it's not exclusive to anime. There's a cartoon of a video game called Mutant League that I watched growing up, that aside from the first few episodes that went into a VHS movie, like many cartoons did at the time, the rest of the series does not exist anymore. Heck, there are several episodes of the original Doctor Who that are still missing despite the show's popularity. Some have been able to piece them together from surviving audio, but I guess what I'm trying to get at is that just because we know it's missing, or can't find a small mention of it, doesn't mean that we can magically prove it exists. Saki, namely, is very difficult to prove it exists because we in fact have almost no information to go on. We don't have a name, we don't have a concrete time. It's not like finding a needle in a haystack like some of these other searches, but trying to find a specific drop of water in the ocean. There is very little we can do except try to catalog the entirety of anime itself, which we've, basically been doing for the past year and a half. Someone suggested that why don't we just order a bunch of VHS tapes from that time and just go through them until we find them. But the likelihood of that ever happening is so incredibly minuscule that you have to be insane to even try something like that. So on an unrelated note, I bought 3 boxes of VHS tapes from Japan. It's going to take a while for it to get here, and, it's going to take even more time to go through them all. They're all supposedly recorded from the 70s and 80s, so hopefully we can get something out of it. If not, maybe some amusing commercials or something. Oh, and back on the topic of lost anime, even though they're supposed to be incredibly popular, in 2007, there's an entire lost movie about the first anime arc of JoJo, and you know how freaking popular that is, especially on the internet. All that they ever found was the original teaser trailer for it, which was so early in production that they had Speedwagon's character, even though he was actually cut from the story. And aside from that, the only thing that they got was a piece that was a part of a fight scene that was donated to a musical museum so that they could study, adding music to anime. It exists, they have articles of when it was put in theaters, and I think someone also has a, the stone mask kind of souvenir from it. But, again, how can something so well known just disappear from the public consciousness? It is one of those things that, kind of why people keep getting drawn to this topic. It is fascinating. Companies spend so much money to create a product, it gains buzz around the time, and then it just fades away into nothing. Until it's eventually discovered years later. Well, hopefully anyway. But that's enough story time for now, but let's try to summarize what's been going on in the Discord while we've been gone. Again, also probably been about a month and a half. Again, I went to my dad's funeral, so it's been a while trying to just get everything to settle down from there. And yes, sorry that we focused more of a time on doing our Irma videos other than that, but those were, in comparison, far easier videos to make. Not that that's much of an excuse, so let's just get back to it. There are a few things of note to actually talk about. someone contacted the Anime Girls in the Bathroom archive account to try and ask them if anyone's talked about it. We did mention the site briefly back when we first started the search, but sadly they actually have a hole in their program, but which basically says they don't actually catalog events of public bathrooms like in schools and stuff, which that has been a popular opinion of what that room could have been. But aside from that, there's actually two other anime sites that people looked into. One was a Russian site that apparently wasn't archived well, so nothing of major note could have been extracted from it. And the other one was supposedly a Spanish site, but I was told that that was debunked, but sadly that's become an all too common story. If there's anything else you think I should mention in these videos, then please feel free to share it. It takes so long to gather this information, and a lot of time to edit all this stuff, that I'm not guaranteed to get everything. But we'll end this part of the video with our fan art that have happened in the past month and a half. I'm still continually blown away by how good some of these are. Some better than others, but hey, anyone who's willing to put effort into making something in this community is always worth getting some acknowledgement for. Oh, and a quick thing to just adding here during the editing process. I went to go start compiling some of the fan art videos, and I came across this image on, actually on the original Reddit one, the one basically is not even worth looking at anymore. I did some quick reverse image searches. Apparently this is from, this was made by Tomoko Aoki, and it's from a manga called Scary Rumors Transmitted to School. There's at least 4 different volumes of this, and I can't figure out which one this is from. So if we can find a place to actually read some of this online, if not, worst comes to worst, just buy the Japanese manga. It has been the first time we've done that. But something I really wanted to add before I posted the video. Anyway, back to your normally scheduled thing. But before we end the video, like always, let's check back with the artist Shinmu. Yes, we've kind of put some of the short videos out there, and we'll probably need to do that again real soon. But let's get back to their section of the Japanese ones that we have to translate by hand. Again, it's not my native language, so I will definitely mess up something. But enough stalling. Let's get on to their first tale called Cloud Story. A girl comes to a grave, and nostalgically looks up at the sky, and wishfully thinks how everything's connected. Then a voice calls from behind her, as a winged girl sits on a branch. The war is about to begin. Many will die. Protect your life yourself. The ground shakes, as the wisp that she saw in the sky was from a jet, and the land lays ruined before her. She turns back to see what was left of the tree, saying that she doesn't understand, as a sound shocks her to her very core. Nervously looking back up at the sky, which is now covered in the trails of countless jets, and she waits knowing that she won't survive the next barrage. Okay, more like the horrors of reality or the terrors of war, with just a little supernatural thrown in. And our last one for today is called Next Story. Okay, I know a lot of these titles aren't really that creative, but just bear with us. 3 friends go to a wake, and her body lays on a bed of flowers, with a mark around her neck, indicating that she must have hung herself. They decide what to do with her body. One suggests cremation, asking if kerosene would work. Another declines, stating that it would only make her look ugly, and that they should probably cover up the bruise. One pulls out a handkerchief and starts trying to measure out the length, doubling it over, as another remarks, asking what material it's made out of, so it won't react weird when they set it alight. She responds that it's made out of cotton, and starts to line it up, only for her hand to be caught as the body sits up, much to everyone's surprise. And then she starts lecturing them not to fold over it like that, since it covers up the pretty pattern on the handkerchief. Ah, good to see that she has her priorities in order at least. I always enjoy these works, as it loves to change its tone at the drop of a hat. The first story being dark and somber, and this one being more goofy and lighthearted. And if she is still alive, then that's another point of this all being in purgatory, or something like that. And that about does it for this one. We're going to try to be making more Saki videos, or at least try and get them back to the weekly, or at least bi-weekly. Again, it's a very interesting topic, and one that we greatly enjoy. And since we actually got those tapes coming in, we at least have something for us to talk about. If you haven't yet, please like, comment, and subscribe to help us appease the YouTube algorithm. It really helps us. It really helps out the channel a lot. But anyway, I'll see you in the next one. Anyway, I'm Runia, reminding you to take life in moderation.
Weep not, poor children, for life is this way, murdering beauty and passion. Hush now, dear children.